morning, butterflies. This is your girl, Sharon K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. I hope that you are flapping your wings and feeling phenomenal. Yes, even in the midst of everything that is going on, I believe that you can still feel phenomenal. Why? As you think, so it is. So, anyways, I just released my book on November 27th, 134 Reasons You Can't Find a Man. You gotta get it. Like I talked about previously, it's about getting a man, but not really about getting a man. It's about you fixing yourself so you can attract the person that you desire. But anyway, I have a phenomenal guest today. We actually met on LinkedIn and we had a conversation that was supposed to be about business. However, we didn't talk about business. Okay, we talked about the universe and spirit and all the stuff that I love. So I want to invite to my stage Minling.
Hi.
Hey, lady, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I am doing awesome. You are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Wait a minute, and I love your website. I kept your website up, okay? Because I think I might mimic it a little because it's just like that fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, so I normally allow my guests to introduce who they are because I don't want to miss anything. And if you miss something, it's on you.
That's smart. That's smart.
Right? I think I'm smart, Mainly.
You are. That's really good.
Yes, honey, yes. So who is Mingling?
Yeah, so I am a brand soul activator. I like to call myself that because I not only work on the strategy side of your brand, but I work on the internal pieces to really understanding the core essence of your brand. And then if you have a personal brand, I help you work on removing the limiting blocks and the beliefs that are holding you back from being the most expressed version of yourself or the most radiant version of yourself so that you can shine online and attract and magnetize the people that are meant to work with you.
I have to say, I believe that I attracted you or you attracted me, however you want to put it, to be in the same space. And I have to get on you live. I never got the invite to Sedona, okay?
Oh, shoot.
Yes, I just threw you under the bus.
I'm like, there was like so much going on. Okay, you'll be at the next retreat. Wait, like we did a retreat. So like you'll be at the next retreat.
Oh, thank you. So tell my audience what your retreat was.
Yeah, it was more of a personal development retreat. So we there was four of us that ran it, and it was about helping people connect to the divine, to their spiritual power, their intuition, to understanding that they are part of this big cosmic universe and they play an important role. So we're also helping them step into their own power, really through understanding who they were as a person. And I even like unblocked some things in my own space around my connection to source. Shamanism as well too, my energy healing. I also do energy healing work as a part of my branding work, especially with personal brands, because the blocks are energetic. It's in the physical form. So I work on my clients energetically to remove those blocks as well. So I tapped into more of my powers there as well in Sedona.
So your superpowers, because everyone's on this like superpower thing. They're saying that Black people are going to get superpower on December 21st. Like I said, what the hell is my superpower? Like, I don't know. But listen, if you go on Twitter though, and you put December 21st, like all the Black people are talking about superpower. So how does one connect your brand to your healing? Because I'm about healing.
Yeah. So the way that I've been connecting my brand to healing, and then I can speak more about other people's brands to
Yes.
healing. But for me, like I mentioned, it was more about realizing that I can give all the strategy. I come from a corporate background. I launched $1 million products for big corporations. Like I've been doing this work for many years. And when I started coaching people inside of their personal brands, I would give them the strategy, the steps, the message. All they had to do was like show up. But
Okay.
what happened was they were afraid to show up. And so I found that it was a lot of this deep fear and this deep inner work that they were missing. And so that's how I
Okay.
started to bridge things together and incorporate healing into my business, because nobody ever really talks about that. People talk either about the strategy or the energy
Yeah.
work. I found this nice blend. And now going back to your question about how to find your own superpower and blend,
Yes.
you want to start to look at what are the different aspects that you are really good at. And so if you have you know about healing, you've been studying it for a while, like how does that then relate to relationships? What is it that people are missing inside of relationships that you need to help them overcome through the healing work that is more than just talking about relationships, more than getting the tips on like how to keep a man or how to attract a man, but what are
Right.
energetic blocks? What are the areas that are holding them back? And so I would say like blend the two together, because it is so needed in the world. Mindset only gets you so far. It's the
Right.
body, the energy that's also an important piece.
Do you feel that your client base, that they're fearful of healing, or they're afraid to do that work, and it's like kind of foo-foo, like I don't want to do that. I don't want people to know that this is what I'm dealing with.
Um, Not anymore.
Okay.
Because I've been attracting clients that are interested in the healing work, interested in
Okay.
spiritual work, because that's one of the things that I feel very strongly at. And
Okay.
because I am so aligned to this and I know who my ideal clients are, the people that are not interested in this, I don't even want to work with as much,
Okay.
because I know that this is a piece that's going to actually take them to the next level. If it's almost like going into branding, really understanding your target market and who they are and what they like. I know that I'm here to help more spiritual people, people that are open to at least the energy work. You don't have to have done it before, but at least are
Right.
open to it, so that I can work with you in your field. And also then we can also layer on the strategies and the brands. But no, I don't get that anymore, because when I talk to the person before coaching or before working with them, they know that about me. They get that sense,
Right.
feel that, and that's when we decide whether or not we want to work together. And I think it's very important to have those conversations, not in a traditional sales sense, but more of a get to know you sense. Are we going to be vibing? Are we aligned? And like our
Yes.
because if you don't believe what I'm doing energetically,
Right.
I'm going to be able to help you.
And isn't that true? I just find that people are so afraid of this whole mystical thing that they don't understand. And I actually did a live earlier, the difference between religion and spirituality, because we're spiritual. And the way I explained it was that religion puts you in bondage, but spirituality introduces you to freedom.
Yes.
And that's what I love. So when you start talking about healing and then branding and then money, right? Because we ultimately we want to get paid for what we do. What type of client do you attract? What is your ideal client?
So I have a few pieces to my business.
Yes.
So have a consulting side where I work with people that are in 6 or 7 figure, earning brackets to up level their brand, to elevate their brand, and we work on their brand message. And then for the people that I coach, they are either newer entrepreneurs, maybe making 5 figures, going to 6 figures, but they are somebody that is ready to share their message, and they're also deeply spiritual. They're all mission driven across the board.
Okay.
Mission driven, know that they're here for some greater purpose. It's not just for money.
Right.
There are people that are just in it for money, and I can feel that, and they're not really in my field or people that I attract, because I'm so passionate and helping others, and this is part of my mission, is to like free people from expressing themselves to truly be
Yes.
them,
Yes.
growing up in that way, that like the people that are only interested in money aren't the ones that usually come to me, and if they are, then
Okay.
I'm not so interested in it. But of course, all my clients do make money out of
Right.
working, but money is not the driving force. It's the mission, it's a service, it's being their true authentic self, and from there they receive the money as a result. So that's who I tend to attract: more spiritual people, entrepreneurs who are mission driven, here for a greater purpose, and know that there's something else, another level,
Yes.
wherever they are.
And it's living on purpose.
Mhm.
But I explain money like this. Money is an energy,
Yes.
and it's actually a female energy. And you can't hold on so tight to her,
Mhm.
because nothing in, nothing out.
Mhm.
And we have to appreciate her.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I've learned this in my course of just self evaluation and learning who I am and the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I
do
ask?
you, yes, absolutely, please, because it's about you.
So I just want to add this one more thing about money, because it is very feminine. It is all about receiving. But what I want to add was that there's an element of needing to be unattached to it as well.
Yes,
Because when
yes,
you're attached to the money, when you're attached to the sale, when you're attached to the client uh, to make the sale, you block that energy of receiving. And so
right,
it's also a matter of switching that mindset that, selling is service, and you don't need to get a client, because the right client will always say yes to you at the right time. I used to
right.
like into like all the sales techniques and all the stuff, and now I don't even use any of those techniques. We just have a conversation to see if it's a right fit for them, and if it's not, it's not, and if it is, it is. And don't be attached, because that's how money shows up: when somebody powerfully chooses to work with you or to be
I
with you in
love
a
that.
relationship.
And a lot of times we attract the money through a person. Like someone can refer someone to us, and that person doesn't mind paying whatever you ask for. But what I love, right? We talked about the age of the Aquarius. Like, I don't know how we got into that. Could you explain to my audience what the age of Aquarius is and what it means?
Yeah. So I'll just use this disclaimer. I'm not an
Okay.
expert at it. So I don't know the ins and outs, but
Please.
I know enough. I've been hearing about it for a couple years now. I first found out about it in 2012, when I was doing a lot of Kundalini yoga training. And so what I was learning is that the old age for like 20,000 years, or like a really long time, I don't remember the exact time period, but we've been in something called the Piscean age. So Piscean age is ruled by, patriarchy, it's ruled by hierarchy, it's like knowledge to the few, whereas the age of Aquarius, it's a shift in consciousness. So actually there's we thought it was going to happen in December 21st, 2012, but I
Okay.
heard that like there was an extra piece to the Mayan calendar that was missing or added on, or somehow, again, I'm not an expert, but this is what I've been told.
Okay.
But really now it's like that was actually the transition period to right now, December 21st, 2020. is really the starting point of the age of Aquarius. And other experts have like different takes on this, but this is what I've been
Right.
taught and heard. And so now the age of Aquarius is all about um, spreading out the information. So allowing the power back to the people, breaking down that hierarchy, rebalancing also the masculine and feminine energy, because in the Piscean age, the it was patriarchal. So the masculine was front and center, and it was not always like the positive masculine. It was sometimes a wounded masculine too, about control,
Yes.
about
Yes.
manipulation. It was a wounded masculine, and now we are switching into the age of Aquarius, where the divine feminine is rising. And yeah, exactly, the divine feminine is rising. And then it's not for women to be feminist. That's very different, because women being feminist means that you're trying to take on those masculine traits, and sometimes they're
Right.
wounded masculine. It's being in your full power, into your intuition, into your connection with God, universe, source. Because if you think about it, Piscean age religion, you had your preachers, your pastors, your priests, like
Yes.
the monks or whatever. Now in the age of Aquarius, you're ruled by your intuition, and our consciousness is up leveling and increasing. And so now you have a direct connection. You've always had that,
Yes.
a direct connection to God, universe, source, whatever you want to believe, that infinite power. And so so I believe like the age of Aquarius is stripping away all of the illusions that have been holding us in this construct, and
Yes.
giving us our own internal power to tap into source, to tap into our own power and intuition.
And I love that. I'm all about the woman, and I love the men too because I coach men. But I just want women to walk in their feminine energy and own who they are and be unapologetic for that. And I see it in the millennials and Generation Z. I think older women, the baby boomers and the X's, which is what I'm a part of, I think that they're a little afraid to step on to the other side, because of the patriotic society that we've been in. But what I'm learning is more people are becoming conscious, um, and intuitive, and being guided by source energy, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, God, but then on the other side there's some offense, because we've been taught and put God in a box, and he only stays here, so I love what you're doing. Now you said something, some kind of, I'm gonna say kind of canalingus, did you say that?
Oh no, consciousness.
No, no, no. Maybe because I have these right here. I saw them at Walmart, girl. I attracted these.
Are you talking about like a Shiva Lingam or something?
Yeah, that
We
thing.
can talk about that, but I kind of know what it is, sort
No,
of.
you were just talking about some type of healing, energy healing. And I didn't want to stop.
I don't remember saying that.
Girl, it's all in my head, all in my head.
For it to come out, right? But but there is something to that. It's like it's having, it's not like, what do I want to say about this? It's about having also freedom and expression of yourself, right?
Yes.
And sexual freedom. Not to say you want to like be like silly and like sleep with everybody and like because
Right.
you can or anything, but like your own internal freedom of yourself, removing the shame and the guilt, doing self pleasure practices as a woman.
Yes.
As well, to honor your body, not to like just get off, but to honor and really connect to your body. I
Okay.
also important. I don't do or work with people on the sexual healing. I have a bunch
Right.
of friends that do that. So if anyone
Wow.
wants that,
Interesting.
like I have sources for you, but But yeah, I do other energy work, removing blocks and helping people remove different stories and from their nervous system and recode their energy and their
I love that. So
soul.
I come into your practice, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like full of shit. Okay. All this stuff from the past, right? But I think I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How do you know, besides me telling you, how do you know the areas I need to heal?
Hmm. It's being guided by intuition as well. Honestly, when I do my coaching sessions, and I just got off of a coaching session right before this,
Okay.
it's guided. You know, it's being an open vessel to allow yourself to be the channel for whatever information comes in. And
Yes.
so when I'm working with my clients, you have to remove ego because, like, when I used to first start coaching, I was like, I have to know all the answers. I have to, like, plan it out, and I have, like, that's like the old way of doing things. But it's really about tuning into what you're saying, listening in between. And I do this with, like, just pure branding clients too, listening in between for the unspoken, feeling into their energy of, like, where they're feeling a little bit stuck, um,
Okay.
and starting to dig a little bit deeper. So, for example, I won't reveal, like, what we were talking about specifically, but this idea of permission came up. And
Okay.
so the person feeling like they needed permission to do something,
Okay.
to really put their business, like, to really elevate their business. And when she was talking about that piece, we leaned into that. So I started asking questions because I could feel and sense that there was some kind of trigger around it. There was some kind of,
Okay.
like, density and energy. And so you start to ask questions and you start to dig deeper into what that is and start to unpack and see what the layers are. But you start to feel the density of the conversation. You can, when
Right.
something's, like, light and energetic, and you can feel that's different than when they start to tense up and contract and feel smaller, or their energy just gets less bright, and you can
Right.
feel that, you can sense that. And so that's when I usually know that that's something that we need to go a little bit deeper in.
Okay. So, I wish we could add someone to the screen to make you do some work, honey. But because you just got finished coaching, because I know that drains you when you're doing that type of work. Um, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? That's a really great question. I think what makes, I think it's not even a thinking question. Like, see how my patterns come up? Like, I catch myself when it starts coming up. It's like, I think I have to have the right answer.
No, no. Someone said, Carlene said you had cute earrings too. She's like, cute earrings, Minling.
Yes. My friend made these. I'm like, I feel like a goddess. She made me a whole goddess set. There's
You
different.
are. You're beautiful. Oh, and your pictures are slamming, honey, on your site. Yes.
Thank you. I think again, that's such a habit, but, like, photos actually make me happy. Like, when I get to take
Okay.
photos and dress up and just be, like, my own feminine and goddess self, like, that makes me super happy. When I'm able to just be free with my friends, like when we were
Okay.
in Sedona, I went ATV riding with one of my
Nice.
friends, and we were just, like, just free spirits, and nothing was, like, constraining, and just allowing, like, my energy to be alive. That's what makes me happy. There's not one thing. It's allowing myself and giving myself permission just to have fun, to be. Even I've been doing a lot more self-care days.
Yes.
One day a week for myself besides the weekends, but one day a week during the work week, to have no calls. And I can either do work in my business or on my business if I choose. I could go, for a massage if I wanted to, or I could just, yeah, like yesterday, I took the day off and I was listening to some activations from one of my mentors, and I was making a macrame, like, dream catcher all day. And so,
Nice.
like, I just gave myself permission. And at first you can feel guilty about it, but it's really like, no, this is your time. There's no reason for you to feel guilty. If that's going to replenish you and make you happy, it's going to make you an even better person. So what makes me
Yeah.
happy? following my desires and just doing it and having fun and enjoying myself.
I love that. And I love that because so many women are afraid to live in their freedom and afraid to be authentic, fearful of what other people will say or do. Like me, honey, I'm gonna be on the beach with a thong bikini and I'm gonna toot my ass up for the picture and I'm gonna put it on Facebook. What are we talking about that?
No matter what, I remember that. He was like, I ain't gonna like close myself up. I remember like
Right. That makes me happy. So you're Asian descent, right?
yeah.
So do you use any Asian practices in what you do in your life coaching?
Yeah, I don't. I don't do any of the Asian practices. I probably like a bad Asian because I used to say this all the time. I'm like a bad Asian because like I don't know a lot of like Chinese medicine, my heritage. I mean, I've
Okay.
Chinese medicine, I've done acupuncture, but I've never studied
Okay.
that stuff. I think the closest would be a jade aid practice that, and I learned that from my friend.
Okay.
She's certified in jade aid practice,
What
but
is that?
so it's an egg that's like it's literally like shaped like an egg. It's a crystal that you use and you stick up basically
Like a yoni.
it's a yoni egg.
Yoni. Okay. 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 Got you.
Yeah,
Have you ever had a yoni massage?
I had once. I had it
Did you
once.
come?
Nothing's off limit for you.
I asked you.
Yeah, yeah. I should have been more specific. I'm like, wow. I was like, "Oh, we're talking about relationships."
We're talking about everything, honey. This is a part of branding.
I wasn't expecting. I'm like, woo, it's been a while.
It's all in love.
It's all in love. No, I only did it once. A lot of emotions came up for me. So
Really?
there's more emotions that I had to work on and heal. I actually, it's funny you should ask that because I've been wanting to do another yoni massage. This was like years ago. This was when I was first getting in, so I wasn't as open as I am now. So there was a lot of
Okay.
trauma still stored. And so I've been wanting to do a yoni massage. My friend had this like has this person in LA and I keep on forgetting to get it from her, but I don't think they're
Okay.
open right now because of everything that's happening. But I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, I've been wanting to get another one, but I have different crystals and different wands and stuff that I practice with every
Okay.
now and then, but I need to also get a little bit more consistent with it. But yeah.
Now, you spoke of emotions coming up during this, right? What does that look like? Because this is what I heard that a woman carries everything in her womb.
Mhm.
So, what does that healing look like? Like when you put it up there, are you meditating? Like what's going on?
Inside of the yoni massage?
Yeah, like with the yoni egg thing and the massage, like how does emotions come up? Like I would think it's pleasurable. Like, oh, I'm a come. That's what I'd be thinking. Like, yee, get ready, had the best orgasm ever. But so you took me somewhere different with the emotions.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
to me about that.
Yeah. So we store, and this is what I've been taught and over like different trainings that I've been to. Again, I'm not an expert in this,
Yes, ma'am.
but I've been working on this area in my own life too, because I also know that I have blocks in certain areas that I want to clear, and that also blocks receiving. And
Okay.
so we hold male energy of whoever we've had intercourse with. Um,
Okay.
inside of our body. So any traumas that happen, any kind of like relationship going bad, and also apparently their energy of their past relationships too. So
Okay.
we store all of that in our wombs. And from what I know and what I've been studying, it's the yoni egg. You're able to um, bring up those emotions and
Okay.
also release them through various breath practices. It could come out as an emotional cry. There's moments when I've done the yoni massage, or I also have a wand that's a obsidian wand that
Now,
removes.
what's a wand? Because you keep saying a wand. I'm thinking like a little stick or something like a wand. Like,
So it's like, just think of like a bigger. There's different shapes. There's like a bigger little
okay,
yoni egg. It's like but it's supposed to represent a lingam,
penis.
penis, basically. But there are also ones that look like a penis as well too.
Okay,
It would be like your vibrator, but in crystal form, and it doesn't
okay,
vibrate. You use the crystal to work on. You can put pressure in different areas to let whatever release as well, and you can go into it with intention. You can set the candle. Like there's big epiphanies when I've done this before, like things that have come up that I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize that was a trigger, or that was something that like was holding me back, or oh my gosh, that's what was happening when.
okay,
So different epiphanies will come up when you're using the tools and practices. Again, I'm not an expert, so I can't tell you the ins and out of how to do this.
okay,
But I know that, I have an obsidian one because that removes like negative energy. So there's different
okay,
crystals for different healings. And I have my obsidian one when I want to go deeper into the emotions or healing or whatever traumas that I recognized and I want to go
okay,
through. And I just set my intention, set a candle, make it very like more of a meditative practice. And it's
okay,
less about getting off, and it's
okay.
more about allowing myself to feel whatever emotions come up and whatever I am guided to receive in terms of information.
That's deep, girl. My heart is palpitating because I never heard it like that. So when you go to the practitioner, right? Is it like when you're at the GYN and they have the cover over you and they're kind of doing their specialty?
When I did it, so when I went to this person, and it happened to be a guy, he was like a friend of mine as well too. So
You
like
let your friend go in your vagina?
he was like, I guess an acquaintance, like a friend from like yoga, but he's been doing
Right,
it
right.
for years, like
You
like
didn't feel weird? I'm sorry, we're gonna get back to that. You didn't feel weird like your friend going up in your vagina with a tool, with a wand? Like I would have been like, okay, did you shave?
you were hilarious. No, and I did it because I was so like wanting I didn't know anybody that was doing it, and I wanted to go to somebody that I trusted versus
Okay,
like some random person like that I didn't know, you know what I mean? So he actually he set the tone, and everything was very safe, very kosher.
right.
Sure it was like a safe space. He walked me through everything. He actually does like the massage like on you first, like a full body massage to get your body relaxed.
Okay.
And then you work like we worked on the areas, but I forgot the original question. But no, but like
Girl, I don't even know either. I think I said, did you wear the thing on you? And is it like
I don't remember. I don't remember,
what's
but I was
it like being at the GYN?
naked. I was naked, and he had gloves, He was it was all safe, He had gloves. It was like, and he had my consent because I knew he's been a practitioner for a while, so he's had
Okay.
like testimonials, and it's not just like random,
Right, right.
you know, do that. Although I side story, there was like this organization, and this organization that actually has like they train men and women how to have get like the men how to give women orgasms, and it's like this, it's a meditation, and like
Oh wow.
yeah, I never got to the part of actually practicing with a partner, but I went to one of their orientations. It was really fascinating.
Well, okay. So this is pretty cool. I think that would be cool. You go there with your partner in practice, or do you get another partner?
You can go with a partner, or you can go with another person. I don't know. I never got to that part yet. So, but they kind of like just, I don't know what happened, but like they're no longer in existence. But
I see why.
But people swear by it. That's why I went. People like I talked to people and they're like swearing, but that's how I was introduced from another friend. No, I did not let him or her like go in.
Okay, no, no, I think it's cool. Like, I'm just open to everything.
Yeah.
You've talked to me on a personal, so I'm like, damn, like, this is all right. But I can see a lot of wives or husbands or girlfriends or boyfriends getting upset.
Yeah. Well, it's more of like a meditation to help each other get into your own.
Honey, I would not be meditating on higher self and all that kind of stuff when I'm trying to, jerk you off or you trying to make me have an orgasm. Like, I would not be thinking, oh, my higher self. No. Okay, I'd be thinking, oh, this feels good. Go a little deeper.
But no, no, that's part of the practice too. You expressing yourself. So it's not
Really?
meditation. It's like it's allowing each person to be expressed and vulnerable and removing the stigmatism and the guilt around it because a lot of the guilt and shame is what's holding us back from receiving what it is that we want in all areas of our life. And sex is one area. And I'm
Right.
still working on this too, because I still have patterns from my upbringing, from being Asian, from like my ancestral line and lineage
Okay.
that like, sex is bad. This is like you need to feel guilty. Even like speaking about it now, it's like, oh,
Right.
like thinking that I would, but like if my parents watched it, they'll be like, "What the heck are you talking about?"
What kind of interview was that? I thought that was on Brandon. It's all, tell mom and dad, it's all part of Brandon. We Brandon the whole self.
I know, but but, but I'm just saying, but like, so there is still guilt and shame around it, and so, but I know that there is blocks around that. That's why I keep on diving into like courses or learning more about it or trying the practices on myself because
Okay.
I know that there's more blocks around it, and that blocks receiving, that blocks your feminine energy because you're cutting off your own creation,
Right.
looking for your own creation.
That's interesting, but that blockage is in so many women. It's just not Asian, it's African, it's American, it's Middle Eastern, Asian, every woman, because we've been taught good girls don't do this,
Yes.
or the missionary position. But then we have disease in the millennials, honey, they dropping it like it's hot. They know how to do the bounce, like on the penis, no shame. And then the older women ain't getting no men because we like, I'm so afraid.
Yeah.
What will he think? And he's saying, baby, come on. Sit on
Get it on. Let's go.
Right, right.
Oh, I hear you on that one. I'm on the cusp of the X millennial. I'm like in the like the cusp.
Baby, are you X and millennial, like in between there?
I'm in between. I'm like I think they named it as the zillennials because we're at the end of the X and the beginning of the millennials. I'm in
Wow.
that period of because it was like the analog childhood and the digital like college and stuff like that. So I'm in the middle.
Okay.
So,
I feel like I'm between the millennials and the Z's. Like, my oldest daughter is 30. I told her, I don't know how you're older than me. Okay. Because I'm still 27.
love it.
And they don't want me around their friends, their male friends. They're like, Mom, no.
But no, that's like it's interesting because your femininity, like your sexuality, that's the life force. That's a life force of like women. That's our creative spirit. That's everything in a woman. Because I've seen other women like lose that, and like their life goes away, and the way that they look and feel.
Yes. Well, there's so many bitter women right now.
Mhm.
A lot of church women are sitting there waiting on Boaz, right? I'm like, girl, Boaz is dead. Okay, he's gone. You might want Hakeem or Tim or somebody like that. He's here. But they sit there and they're waiting to be chosen. And I think that has been set by man, where the men can do whatever they want and express their sexual freedom. But the women have been taught, no, good girls don't do this. You have to wait for him to choose you. And I'm like, girl, go choose your man.
Mhm.
So when I come and I'm coaching, I think it's very uncomfortable for people. And sometimes I just want to shake them and say, bitch, wake up. Okay. Come on, for real. You know, like, let's do it different. This isn't working for you. And orgasms have been statistically proven to reduce heart disease and stress. And I'm like, why are you just sitting there? You're mean, you're aggravated, you're backed up. Like, come on, honey. And if you don't want to go and be intimate with a man, go to Minling's class.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll send you somewhere else. I am definitely.
We have an egg and a wine. Wait a minute, a wine that look like this, similar, but it's glass, honey. It's crystal.
It's
We're
crystal.
gonna release some tensions and get you an orgasm.
I know. I'm still learning it. Although I was like, maybe I should sign up to learn about this more and do a practitioner's
I
course.
think you should. I think you should. I think that women need it, and I think people would buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there one for men, or do men go to the same type of practice?
Oh, there's men and women. The things what I've seen online, like where I've bought or I purchased my crystal wand from, like she has courses for both men and women and separate courses as well.
Okay.
And
I can't.
couples courses. I've seen that
I
too.
can't imagine practicing on a stranger, like doing like couldn't. I'd be thinking, what is my husband thinking? He would kill me if he knew I was here. You know? But all of this type of communication wraps into who someone is and what you do because of the energy healing and being comfortable with self. So people probably think that, oh, they're willy-nilly, and we are. But it's also a lesson in this, right?
Yeah, it is.
I know. That's why I try to tap into the whole being, mind, spirit, and body. Do you also teach about physical fitness, like being fit and being healthy? Um, what to eat, what not to eat? Do you talk about that in your practice?
Yeah, I don't talk about that. I do sometimes bring in a flow practice that I've been taught by one of my mentors. Um,
Okay.
it's a specific practice to recode your body, and so I don't really talk about health and wellness. Uh,
Okay.
Again, I'm not an expert in it, so
Right.
it's something that I leave to the people that are the experts. Although I tend to, have like a healthy lifestyle, or I'll share the tools that I'm using. Like I have an energy frequency device that I share and let my clients know, and sometimes I run energy frequencies on them. I have other things and tools that I will share with them that have helped me, but I don't
Okay.
teach everything, because then you start to dilute, who you
Your
are,
message.
your message and your brand. And but I definitely have brought in energy work and mindset work and belief work because I've been practicing it for years, and I've uh,
Okay.
done a lot of training around it. So I feel like a lot of that is um, in my wheelhouse, and I've been
Yeah.
guided by spirit to do more of this work. Like even my mentors are like, "Oh my gosh, we see shaman in you. We see all this stuff." Like so, like
Shaman. What is that?
oh,
Shaman.
shaman.
Yes, that was it. That was the word. I said conolingus.
Something which is not a shaman. I mean,
Honey, I don't know what you said. Whatever came to my mind is what I said. What is shaman?
shaman is like like a healer, or somebody who like uses, can channel divine energy to heal and to work on people's energy and spirit. There's
Okay.
lots of different types of shamans. So shamans can lead you through, and I can't do this, but plant
Okay.
medicine journeys. So there are people who are trained to hold space to lead you through your plant medicine journey, whether it's ayahuasca, um, psilocybin, DMT, anything else. Like there's
Yeah.
people that facilitate that, but it's a type of healer. What I and I'm still tapping into this, but it's
Okay.
using the powers of the divine and channeling that energy out, and helping move energy. So a lot of what I do and what's coming through to me is when I'm coaching or if I'm doing energy work, I can feel in certain areas of people's body, and you can see my hand moving a lot because this hand,
Okay.
for whatever reason, it gets guided on where I need to start moving energy, and I can see
Okay.
and feel, and different sound vibrations come out. It's like I really tap into the person and the energy, and shift it and move it and clear it and open it up,
Okay.
the contracted space. And
And
so
see, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, no. Go ahead.
This is I love this type of talk. And I love what you're saying because it kind of reminds me of church, right?
Mhm,
Where we call it in spirituality intuitiveness or intuition. In church, we call it prophetic or prophecy. Um, but it's really the same thing. And if you have the gift in religion, you can definitely use the gift in spirituality. And that's what I love, you know, because everything or a lot of things are a play on words.
mhm,
Psychic, intuition, prophetic, they're all the same thing.
mhm,
They all have insight. But people get so twisted on the terminology or the verbiage that they can't hear the message.
mhm,
And what I love about my mother, she always taught me eat the meat and spit out the bones.
mhm.
So whatever applies, take it in. And then if it doesn't apply, just put it to the side. Maybe you might need it one day, maybe, you won't. But, hold on. So it's very interesting. Now, do you ever go get like a reading, like a psychic reading or okay, talk to me about that a little bit because a lot of people think that's of the devil.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's again, more of a guidance.
Yeah.
So what I've been also tuning into is really understanding our fate and free will, and what we have um, available to us. So I feel like it is guidance
Okay.
on. I've tapped into Akashic records. I've had people read those. I've had tarot card readers. I've had psychics. I've had all these people. And my dad's really big into Chinese astrology. He tries to predict
Really?
when I'm getting. He tries to predict when I'm getting married, and I've had so many readings on me and all this stuff. But it's all guidance. So I believe that everything is possible, right? We live in a
Right.
quantum world, and I've been studying and going deeper into quantum realities and physics, but everything's happening concurrently right now. The past, present, and future, all timelines are happening, all different variations, they're all happening. So
Right.
what the psychic tarot card reading, whoever you're going to, is tapping into one version of possibility for you.
Okay. I like what you said of possibility. Keep
There's
going.
lots of different possibilities, but then we have free will if we want to believe or partake in that.
Right. We can change the narrative.
Mhm. You can change the narrative, so you have total control over it. Um, but I also am learning. Like one of the biggest downloads that I got when I went to Mount Shasta, I did a whole spiritual journey. I took some plant medicine. I was just really connecting. What was coming through was around the true meaning of free will and surrender. And what was coming through was that free will. There's only really two choices in life,
Okay.
and it makes everything so much more simpler. It's either surrendering to God's will, universe, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
or not. Your free will is not surrendering to God's will. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it's a choice you can take.
Right.
But I tend to see in my own life where I didn't surrender and I try to push for something, or I try to go after something, I try to hustle, I try to go.
Yes.
It is always harder. It always ends
Right.
up going against the current. And so now I look at these cards as, okay, these are possibilities, like, and then tapping in, is this the right and highest possibility for me that I want to step into? Is this
I
like,
love that.
and surrendering into that and allowing that to unfold. You could say that in relationships too. I'm not uh,
Right.
married yet. It is a desire of mine, but I also, even though my dad's astrologers have told him that I get married at certain points, and I could have,
Right.
I
But
really
you changed the
did.
narrative.
I changed the narrative for because that wasn't the highest for me because there was so much more growth for me to do and to get to in order
Okay.
for me to have what I ultimately wanted was a divine union, not just like a
Okay.
partner, but a divine union with my divine partner, somebody that I'm supposed to be with, and we're supposed to help ascend and grow together. And so, what was the point of that? I forgot my point, but we
No,
have.
that's okay. This is good stuff. This is great. I think that we're so deep that we do forget what we're talking about because spirit kind of takes us somewhere else. So it's okay.
Whatever comes through. This is how I do interviews. Like whatever wants to come through comes through. Like I don't plan anything. We didn't pre-plan anything. It's like,
Right. We just jump on here like, girl, what's up? So, all right, check this out. I was looking at some Indian matchmaking show. It's on Netflix.
mhm,
And she had a Indian face reader on the show.
mhm.
Did you see that show? Okay, so anyway, I saw the face reader. I looked them up, and honey, I got in contact with the face reader
There you go.
and got me a reading. And
Nice.
I was like, okay, he got something. He got something. I know it to be true, and I loved it. And a lot of people would say, "Oh, you're sinning," or "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." But I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna test it. Okay, I want to know."
Yeah.
Okay. But so many people are afraid of what they don't know. And I think that's why a lot of people, even when it comes to like life coaching or personal development coaching or strategy coaching or branding and marketing, that people are afraid. I'm a risk taker. So I'm like, child, whatever.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some. What can you lose? But I think that more women need to be able to take a risk in their personal lives, healthy risk, not no crazy whatever,
Yeah.
but healthy risk, um, betting on the things that they desire. So hiring someone like you to help them to change their narrative, not only in their business, but in their personal journey and being open to receive what you have to offer because obviously just hearing you speak that you're connected. So many people just focus on the money, the dollar, but the money will come. So in a perfect world for you, how has the money just came without you hustling, without you grinding, doing what we know to do in human form? How did it, how did the universe manifest it for you?
That's a great question. So the universe usually manifests it by sending me people randomly as clients that I never had any contact with or
Okay.
remember that I have contact with. um, and also putting the right people in front of me for different opportunities as well too, leading
Wow.
me to different things. And you know like this interview could lead to somebody else that reaches out to
Right.
me that I don't even know, right?
Right.
There's like so many different opportunities just by like sharing myself just openly, fully, and staying in my own pleasure and my own passion, because people can feel that energy and that vibe. Like if I was doing something that I hated and I wasn't passionate about, you could feel that. And it doesn't make you want to then reach out to me to potentially buy from my service,
Right.
even sales calls too. If I'm just like not in a space of passion, if I'm not in a space of desire, they'll feel that dead energy. And
Right.
so I feel like when we are stepping into our truth, our power, our essence, our pleasure, we send out a different vibration into the universe. And then
Yeah,
that also then attracts the right people that need what it is that you do, or I do, to come to us because they can feel that energy and that vibration and that shift.
do you ever wake up in the middle of the night? And this might just be a me and you question. I don't know. You could say pass. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, okay, God, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this?
Yeah, I have definitely, especially in the early stages of my business. Like,
Right,
I was like, "Okay, God, I don't know. I quit my job. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I have no clue, of
right,
what's gonna happen. Am I gonna survive? Am I not gonna survive?" And it's about leaning into the faith and trust. I've always been spiritual, but I
yes,
don't feel like I really understood faith and trust in the very beginning
right.
of my journey as an entrepreneur. As,
So
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, when you're operating in faith and trust, right? Is there a little fear or doubt? And I don't I hate calling it that because if you have faith, you don't have fear.
No, it pops up. It's catching that ahead of time and then changing that in the moment and choosing the faith over the fear. So So the fear will still pop up. The
Right,
doubt will still pop up. I say it's never going to go away because every single time we up level, there's another edge that we're facing and that we're going through. But having faith and trust despite all of that is like the biggest lesson. And I'm gonna bring in a little bit about plant medicine as well too, because
okay,
I used to be like, no drugs, nothing. Like I was like straight shooter. Like I didn't drink till I was 21. I mean, that's how straight shooter I was, you know.
it's okay. You drink now. We're gonna have to have a drink when I come there, okay?
I
We'll
was
probably go to the beach in our thongs. Yeah.
I was like such a good girl. And
Okay.
again, Asian upbringing. But I started doing plant medicine within the last like 4 years. Like it wasn't even like 3 years, 4 years, not even that like long ago that I still did not do any kind of drugs. So I was like, no, 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 I can't do it.
Okay.
I had that programming. But like in it, the reason why I bring it up, and I'm not saying people have to do plant medicine, but for me, what
Well,
it
wait a minute. Is plant medicine marijuana?
no. So
Okay.
it can be plant medicine. Marijuana is a type of plant medicine. If you use
Okay.
it as a plant medicine, people just usually smoke it to get high. But if
Okay.
I mean, all these tools, like for example, like mushrooms, can be used as just a recreational tool, or if you're very intentional with it, it can be used as medicine for your healing as well
I
too.
heard that.
Yeah.
I actually heard of a gentleman overseas where I guess he gives it to you and it takes you out of yourself, but you have to have someone there with you
Hmm.
to kind of guide the narrative. And I knew someone who was flying to this country to go and do that.
Mhm. You have people that hold space, right? People that hold space for your journeys. You definitely will want. I've done it alone too because I've practiced with it, but
Okay.
I've also in space where somebody's holding the space, and
Okay.
I've also held some space. I'm not again. It's just anyways. I don't want to like go into like all the details,
Okay.
um, but what I'm saying about like plant medicine is that there are moments where some of your shadows or the darkness can come up.
Okay. That happens when I drink too many margaritas or shots. Her name is Shay. She come out. My husband don't like her. Go ahead. He be like, don't bring her out.
Figure out.
Okay. Especially in front of my family. Don't let her come out.
Yeah.
So
But it's
sorry, Minling.
okay. It's okay. But for me, like when I did my first ayahuasca ceremony, like it was very tough for me to let go. Like
Okay.
you purge in it and I couldn't purge. But once I surrendered and let go and trusted that the medicine would work itself, that I didn't have to force it, I didn't have to like do anything, I started to feel the medicine work through me. And now
Okay.
I have a relationship with the medicine where I can hear when I'm ready to purge. I just wait until I hear that message and I'm like, okay, it's time to purge. So
Now, is purge throw up?
yeah, there's
Okay.
other types of
Because
purge.
in church, honey, they be like, she's purging and it's thrown up.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's purging, throwing up, there's also purging, like verbal purge or crying, and there all of those are purges.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I mention this because it's helped me relax into the faith because I know that I'm always going to be taken care of even when I feel, like, so crummy on the plant medicine that,
Right.
like, I know that there's an other side that I will get through, and whatever I needed to learn in that journey, in that medicine, in that experience, I will learn. And so,
Wow.
going back to the faith, it's like, okay, the doubt, the fear, all of that will still come up for you, and it's normal to come up, but you have to hold on to also knowing at the same time that everything is gonna work out. That if you can hold on to that sliver, that
Right.
of faith and trust, even with all this doubt around you, if you can just
The
hold
mustard
on.
seed faith.
Yeah, just hold on to that, and you
Yeah.
will, and you will overcome. And one more thing I wanna, share that's coming through is that sometimes things don't happen, the way that we want it to happen, but it's
Right.
exactly how we needed to experience it for different lessons. So it's also having faith that whatever you're experiencing now is exactly how it needs to happen. So you needed to have that doubt in order to learn that lesson that you are now learning right now. So
I love that.
wrong, it's now part of your experience that gets to be co-created and part of your story. And that's also what we were doing at the retreat, was really helping people understand that all of these experiences that you're experiencing, you're co-creating all of it, and it's all necessary and orchestrated for you so that you can surrender more deeply into trusting that it's all in divine timing, that it's all happening exactly how you need it.
I always use divine timing
Mhm.
because I believe that God's timing is always perfect, even though we don't understand sometimes.
Even though we're impatient.
Yeah, I know I get impatient. I get like frazzled sometimes, and I try to stay in my space and be like, okay, God, I need you to help me, to stay in knowing that you have me, because we do want to obtain our heart's desires and the clients that we want and things like that. Um, I wanted to ask you one more thing, and then we're gonna end. But do you believe in deja vu? Because I truly do.
I
Like
ac
I've been here.
I actually had a really crazy experience around that. So it was in my first plant medicine journey for, psilocybin for mushrooms. I had done ayahuasca before, but this was my first, like, psilocybin journey, and we were in, my mentor's, space. It was in a teepee, like, we were in the backyard. We just went through, they had a healing mat. We went through one round where, this other woman was being healed on the mat, and, like, I saw the matrix breaking and all the stuff. And then I kid you not, like, everybody started to go outside, and I was just still in my, like, I was still kinda, like, spacing.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I look over to my mentor, and she says something to me, and she was like, because I was like, "Wow, that was intense. That was really beautiful and intense." Because watching what happened with the lady, and she was like, she said something to me. I don't remember exactly what she said right now, but it was something to the effect as like, um, it is hard work, but for the people that choose it, it's like a beautiful work or something like that, like
Yeah.
that we must go through. And I had a moment of like, you said that to me before.
Uh-huh.
But I've never this was the first time that I ever met her in person. This was the first
Wow.
time I was ever in that teepee. Like, there was no chance that I could have ever done that. But the reason why deja vu happens is this is how I've been explained, is that, um, all there like I mentioned, in the quantum field, there's all timelines are happening right now, past, present, and future. So we're
Yes.
remembering something that already happened in one of our timelines. So that's why there's deja vu.
Okay. So, in other words, that we've been here before, because I believe that we've been here. But my crazy freaked out story was I was practicing dentistry, right? And I was temping. And I said to the doctor, "Oh, I've been here before." I said, "Girl, I was here like 8 years ago." Yeah. She said, "We weren't here 8 years ago. We weren't even in existence." Like I knew the colors of the office. I remember when I came in, which way to come. And it was like, I was there. And I've had several of those happenings before, and it's totally real.
It
And I think a lot of times people put things out of their psyche because they don't understand.
Mhm. We
You
have
know,
capacity in our
they
brain,
do.
such a very limited capacity compared to our hearts. And you experienced it on some level in a different timeline. You just jumped timelines. You
Yeah,
different timeline that you experienced it.
it's crazy though. But girl, we talked about branding, but we talked about life too. Um,
We talked about a whole lot of stuff. Hopefully that
We
was
did, and I loved it because it all works. It's all about the total being.
yeah.
And again, like I said, your practice or your coaching practice is about the total person and branding and strategy. So it all works together somehow, some way, because we can't be in our perfect self if we aren't healed and walking in our freedom and authenticity. So I want to bring that out to the audience. Um, Please tell the audience your website, and I can put it in the chat too. So you go for it.
Yeah, it's brandfameschool.com. So brand as in branding, and then fame as in famous, and then school.com. So brandfameschool.com.
Okay, I made sure to put it there so people can get in contact with you because you're so fabulous and you've been fabulous like since I met you, and we just had this perfect, I'm gonna call it a relationship from when we met. So I honor you and I respect you and I love the work that you're doing. And I want to say thank you for gracing us with your presence and educating me, not on canalingus, but the other one. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the video.
I was like, I don't think I talked about Lingam at
Girl,
all.
but we got into that too,
You
right?
had Lingam on your mind the whole time. I was like, Lingam, I don't think I mentioned Lingam at all.
Well, hey, we tied it all together somehow, some way. You let your friend use the thing, the egg thing.
Hey, it was meant to come out. Somebody needed to hear it. So
Right. And actually the audience was laughing and everything and saying, I'm releasing all and I agree and love it.
there you go.
We did some work. We freed some women today.
There we go. We did. We did.
So thank you, thank you. I'm gonna take you off the screen. Don't go anywhere. I want to say goodbye, and yeah, I'll have you back so we could just dive into that mushroom thing because now you got me curious. I ain't doing that shit because I'm afraid to go to the other side. I might not come back, but you stay right there, okay? Thank you, butterflies. I had such an amazing day or evening with Minling about branding, strategizing, healing, wholeness, and health. If you didn't see the entire live, you need to go back because it's funny too. We just had a great time being ourselves, being women, and doing what we do, trying to help some of you. So anyway, this is your girl, Sharon K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. Don't forget to go get 134 Reasons You Can't Find a Man. Yes, I am an expert, honey. Been married 5 times. Okay, so obviously I know how to do something right, something that you don't know how to do. So I thank you for being a part of my journey. I love you, and you have a fabulous weekend. Take care now.